Well, greetings everyone. Kevin D. Robinson here once again, coming to you from the Underground Funk Lab, where anything can happen, usually does, and probably will, right out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here I am with a friend of mine who I've had the pleasure of hanging with in various places across this amazing country of ours, Debbie Clark. Debbie Clark, wow, what can I say about Debbie? She has this wonderful smile, great personality, and she's been around the industry for a minute. And I tell you what, when I first saw her online, I said, "Who is that lady?" And then we happened to meet at least one event, and I think maybe it was more than
a couple. Yeah, it was a couple of them.
Exactly, a couple of events.
I think it was, if I remember correctly, I don't know. I've been to so many. It might have started with Austin.
Yes.
Maybe Chicago.
And Denver.
And Denver. So yeah. I think 3.
That's right, 3 events. Wow. Well, folks, here, Debbie Clark, introduce yourself to this amazing audience, Debbie, and say a few words to them, if you would, please.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I am 52 years old, and I have 2 beautiful grown daughters, and my background's always been accounting. And you know, I just love this industry that I'm in, and everything that I have attained for myself I feel like I'm a kid in a candy store, and I just keep learning and applying and building a business while really just having fun at it. So it's great.
That's wonderful to hear, folks. I've been saying to people all the while since I started marketing online about having relationships that you cultivate with people through this electronic media, and then after so many days you get to meet these people in person, and it's like having a reunion with somebody you've never met before. Once that happens to you the first time, people, I'm telling you, you will want that to happen every 90 days like we do. Debbie and I have been together at all these events, and I'm telling you, when you walk into a room, and Debbie, you can attest to this, and you see the people that you've been meeting with online, all of a sudden in person, face-to-face, in the flesh, and they greet you, it's a feeling that you cannot replace. Am I right about that, Debbie?
Yeah, it is so true. I mean, we would, you know, really, Kevin, we've been hanging out on with some Friday night hangouts before we actually got to meet each other. And so when you're online and you're communicating digitally to everybody, and then all of a sudden you get to see them, you get to hug them, and you know, you're just laughing. It's just like a whole different, you know, that's why these events are so important. It's just so we can actually touch each other and be able to laugh, have some fun, you know, and it's just a whole different feeling, you know. I just love it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, speaking of that, we might as well go right into the questions that I wanted to ask you. I got prepared for you, and the first one will basically tailor itself to this conversation, because we've been talking about some of the people that we know, you know, that became our center of influence. Who are you hanging around with? Because Jim Rohn was and still is, God rest his soul, one of my favorite mentors in the online world with personal development. And he says you should ask yourself these 3 questions: who are you hanging around? What are they doing to you? And is that okay? Debbie, you can probably wrap all that up in one answer, but take it away and let the people know where they should stand with that and where you are.
Well, you know, it's funny when, you know, I think when I first started online, I tried to do it by myself. You know, it was before I even knew about Empower Network. I came across affiliate marketing, and I'm like, you know what? I really like this industry, but I had no like a mentor to fall back on, nobody to ask questions on. And so when I started really with Empower Network, one thing that I decided to do was get to know people that knew what this industry, how to do it. You know, they've been there, done it. So I could just, you know, with my, you know, I guess I've always been the kind of person to ask questions and be able to just find out what they're doing. And so, like, when I went to Orlando this last event, one of the gals that were kind of walking around with me, she goes, "You must know everybody, Debbie," because I was introducing her to everybody. It's because I just decided that I was going not to try to do this on my own, that I needed to be the student of the industry, be humble enough to know that I didn't know, and that I would be able to, learn from the best of the best. And when you're talking about Empower Network, there are the best of the best internet marketers out there. And I get so much joy and so much, it's like like I said before, a kid in a candy store. And, I was, again, in Orlando, we had this like get together, and it was after the event, and we had people like Lawrence Tam, Chuck Marshall, Chris Jones. And, most people are talking, when you go to a party, maybe you're talking about your family, and we did, but we really talked about marketing and strategies, and it was like fun. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best of the world to be in a very relaxed state and just have fun. But that's what I love about this. Our environment is, you're around people, you surround yourself with people that know how to do things. Well, what's that going to do to you? It's your knowledge is going to explode, because I'm like a sponge, and I know you are too, Kevin. You're just like a sponge. We just take whatever we learn and we start applying it. And you want to surround yourself with the best people. And when you're, if you hear that, your income, I guess, kind of relates to even your 5 people that you surround yourself with. So you got to ask yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, who want to keep climbing themselves for personal development, and your skills? You want to learn everything you possibly can. And if you feel ever stuck, it's probably because you're around people that are stuck. And so you want to surround yourself with, people that are going to get you where you want to go. And I think that's the best thing I could say to anybody is, I know, like you, Kevin, you go and you interview people, and you're asking questions, and when we can do that, we can surround ourselves and feel that energy. Guess what happens? You get that energy. It just puts you in a whole different state of mind.
Absolutely. And let me name drop for a moment, and I'm going to watch you light up. We were in a hotel room during a break at the last Empower Network event that you and I were together with, and Todd Dow, Angie Long, Jermaine Steele, Desmond Smith. Okay, these were some people. These are our circle of influence now, and just that brain trust alone in that room that we were in helped us to glean some valuable pearls of wisdom for our journey in this industry. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. And if you notice, every one of them either started a business or their own product. Every one of those people you just named off. And at that time, Angie didn't have a product. Peter was in that room, and he didn't have a product. Todd Dowell, he's kind of has his hands in a lot of things. I've gotten a lot of knowledge from that man. And Desmond, I want to go back to the first time that I actually met Desmond. I had already gone into to learn a little bit what he was doing, so I asked him in an interview, kind of like what you did, what of all the products of Empower Network that you could say that really was something that you took away and you said, boy, I can really apply that. And he said the Costa Rica, and the reason why, because his mind started thinking, you know what, I could start a company myself, what people need in this industry. And so he did. And now he's very successful of what that company is. And if you think about like Jermaine Steele, all these people are thinking about not just about Empower Network, but expanding their mind how this product has made them say, you know what, I can do something more with this. This is like I guess the base, and then what you do with it is really up to you, and you really do get to learn everything. So I mean, I hear all the time someone else created another product, so it makes you think, okay, what can I do? And that's where we're going on our journey, is figuring that out.
Yes, yes. Now I'm going to bring up one more couple to you, only because you and I have had similar relationships and let me say, a bond with this couple, the .com couple,
Yeah, yeah.
Derek and Gia Sharp.
I love those two. I love those two. And
Yeah.
and the first time I got to meet them, it was so funny because the first event I missed them. It was just a lot going on, and I missed them. So the second event I was not going to miss them, and I was going up to actually go use the restroom, and I ran into them in the hall, and I think the three of us were jumping up and down because we finally got to meet each other, and it was just like the most amazing feeling when you can do that. And I just love those two. They just got so much energy, and they know what they want. They really do.
Yes. So let me back up a moment because I don't want to miss this point. But when you were talking about Desmond and what he mentioned about which product stood out the most to him, I
Right.
knew you were going to say the Costa Rica because I had a conversation with him in Austin, and that's exactly what he told me. The same thing. So I can
That's
testify to
awesome.
that. Yes. Yes. Now, so the back end of that question was then these people you were hanging around with, what are they doing to you, and is that okay? I'm guessing with that smile on your face and the joy I hear in your voice that yes, that is okay.
Oh, definitely okay. How I don't know any other industry that I could have gotten so much knowledge, a lot of it for free, and and just being surrounded with the right at the right time, and it's just
Uh-huh.
you just couldn't ask for any better.
All right. Now here's another name. Tony Rush. Tony Rush is a a figurehead in the Empower Network movement family, and I met him in Austin, Texas. Great guy. He
Hmm.
said something in one of the inner circles that we refer to now as our Drive Time University, where, folks, if you haven't plugged into that, please do so immediately. Partner up with Debbie Clark or myself, whoever you're watching this on whose behalf, and get that inner circle for yourself today. But Tony Rush said this in one of those inner circles. He said, "I am where I am today because of my best thinking," and I know you've heard him say that. What
Right.
what did that do to you when you heard those words roll off of his lips?
Well, it's so true because when I first started my journey, I didn't pick up a book about personal development. I didn't I liked it, but I didn't apply it. And what has gained for me is being able to have more confidence, be a better me. And so when I've gone through the journey, like what Tony said, that when you're doing it every day and you're applying it, you become better at yourself. You really do. And not only are you becoming better for yourself, you're becoming better for people surrounding you. So your best thinking is when you start this journey, you got to be okay where you're at. You got to be okay that where you're going because you're going on your journey. You got to understand that people a lot of times you hear their struggle along their journey, and you got to be okay with that because that is part of where you're at. But your best thinking is that you keep challenging yourself that with the right people, just like we talked about, having that every day in your life, that you're listening to the audios, you're picking up the books, you're doing stuff to become a better you, so then it will just come out when you're talking. It just happens. It's like it starts. You kind of the last almost 2 years now that I can just go, wow. What have I accomplished over these last 2 years? It's like I have gone to internet marketing school. I've gone to personal development school. I have become a better me. And so when people are first saying they want instant results and all that, it was like, well, where have you been, before? It really, you have to understand that. You have to be okay with that. Doesn't mean that you can't have instant results. It just means that you got to understand that you're got to be okay with where you're at.
Yes, yes. Now, you and I both are thankfully moving away from the 40 40/40 plan, the industry.
Right.
That basically, as I was talking to a dear friend of ours, Karen Ellis, earlier, I believe she used the term. Um, they are selling you retail in the 40 on the 40/40/40 plan, and if you don't, if that doesn't sink in, folks, you need to think about that for a moment. Being used and sold retail in the marketplace with the 40/40/40 plan, but that plan, which has failed us over the past few years, as far as us being financially independent and free to own our own time and own our lives and create lifestyle freedom, and also put us in a position where we have complete mastery of our time and complete mastery of our finances. What do you say to someone who really is now thinking about moving away from that, but they're a little afraid to embrace our industry where someone can go all in with Empower Network and change their financial platform forever very quickly?
Well, one thing you have to think is, when you're doing a business, right? Whenever you're doing your business, you have that is going to be residual income. So when I don't care what kind of traditional business you have, I don't know very many has residual income coming in. So when you're at a job, if you were to be sick, something, unfortunately happened to you, your income would stop. It would just stop. And so you have to be able to have a plan. What would be your next plan? What would you do if you lost your job? What would you do if you did get hurt? What would you do? So in this industry, what this does for us, it allows us to have income coming in, and we could be our videos, everything we do is working for us 24/7. 24/7. Our blogs are out there. Everything's working for us. I don't have to be in front of someone to be able to, have my business keep going. And you on a 24, the 40/40 plan, a lot of people are looking at it. I don't know. Have you ever walked in Walmart and seen those poor people working in the front there that are 70 years old? Because they didn't know what to do. I'm sure they thought they were going to retire. I'm sure they thought they were going to live a life with, financial freedom and time freedom, and it didn't really play out for them, did it? And so, that's what a lot of people have to really think about, to get out of the mindset that we're working for someone and getting to work for yourself, because that's the way of the future. That's what you'll see. Like I think I read a article it was about a couple of years ago, that UK is actually a lot more ahead of us in the sense of the home business arena. And we eventually, I think it was 2017, it was like 1 out of every 5 people will have some type of a home business. Is because they're finally going to get what it takes to be able to survive in today's society, and people are starting to think outside the box. And that's why we see so many of these younger ones that actually are applying this into their life right now, because they've gone to college and many times can't even get a job, and certainly not the job that they planned on, going to school, and so they're actually taking more action in their lives. I wish I had this a few years ago, so I could apply it a lot sooner than I am right now. So I'm looking at my complete time freedom. I don't want to be behind a desk. I don't want to be behind working for someone. I want to be able to enjoy life. Like, can you imagine for one moment with having your phone with your video on it, and you're in St. Thomas, or you're in Thailand, or you're doing just traveling. Your business goes with you wherever you are, and that sounds like a good plan to me. I don't know about you, but
I'm loving the sound of that. It sounds like freedom to me, and
yeah,
especially when at any moment you can take that phone and just shut it off.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll get you out of here on this before you give people the ways that they can reach you, Debbie Clark. When someone comes to partner up with you in this business, and I'm talking particularly about the Empowered Network that we've all come to know and love, do you recommend they just go with basic and maybe one other product to test the waters, or should they be more business-minded and go all in? What say you?
Well, I'm all in. So, I kind of expect that people have my mindset, that if you really want a business, you want to be able to run your business fully. So say, for example, you get someone who comes into your business and you don't own all those products. And they start asking you about the products, you're going to limit yourself. You're going to limit that your income, you're limiting your trainings, you're limiting everything about your business. If you're all in, you know about the products, you're applying those products, and then when someone tells you, asks you about it, and you can say, well, wouldn't you want a $3,000 commission? I know I like those $3,000 commissions. You have to have that mindset. Your mind has to be all in at all times. Whatever you do, you have to get all in.
Folks, you've heard some amazing words of encouragement and wisdom from the one and only Debbie Clark. Debbie, I know people are watching this webcast, recording, or whatever you want to call it, and they resonate with your story. What's the best way for them to get a hold of you, to partner up with you today?
Well, there's several ways that I'm very open to how people get a hold of me. Facebook is probably my number one way for people to, message me. I love Facebook. I love all about it.
The riverbed.
Yeah, it's like so easy. You get it on your phone. You can message people. It's wonderful. And then through my email marketing, if you go to any of my videos, you can just go Debbie Clark Empower Network, and I'm going to come up. You should see also I have blogs out there. I have so much information out on the internet that you can find me, but you can also call me, and I'm very, very open to that as well.
Thank you so much, Debbie Clark. Folks, as you can tell, we have a blast in this industry. And don't forget, we are going to get together again very shortly here in the month of January in the amazing city of Miami, Florida. Don't you want to partner up with us and hang out down there and begin to glean valuable pearls of wisdom for your journey in life that will take you to the next level? Debbie Clark, it's been a pleasure as always hanging out with you. We must do it again real soon. I know we will. You be blessed, my friends. If you have any parting words, Debbie, share them now.
Oh, you got to get in. That's all I got to say. If you're ready to make that change in your life, and you're saying, I feel like I'm not getting where I want to be. There's just something missing. There's something missing in your life, and you don't even know what that may be. Well, I can tell you on the other side that you will find what you've been missing. And I know I have. I know if Kevin has, and over 150,000 other affiliates have found that they have found the answer what they were looking for. So make sure you get in, get with us, and I promise you, you will not be sorry.
Folks, if you're watching on my behalf or on Debbie's behalf, click the link below. You will partner up with the person who you are supposed to partner up with. There are no mistakes with this technology. That's it for us, my friends. We're going to check out of here on that note. You be blessed and have an amazingly successful day.
Bye.
Don't give up.